Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is Major G. Uh, Man, it is dark in here. Um, Let me go get dressed for this reaction I want to do. I'm gonna get properly dressed. One moment. Here we go. I am properly dressed now for this. All right, it is time when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield. All those
Apparently, excuse me. I'm gonna cut that out. Apparently, during the big game, there was a there was a trailer for the brand new Captain America: Civil War. Now, I already know that since I read the comic that they're going to be going in a completely different direction in the movie. However, it's Cap, and obviously, I like Cap, and so far, all the Cap movies have been the best movies. So, are the best Marvel movies. So, Cap, what was it? What was it? First Avenger, slightly lower, but Winter Soldier, the best Marvel movie so far created. I'm not going to count Deadpool because we haven't seen that yet. Apparently, Deadpool's amazing. So, I am going to go ahead and watch this right now. Our Captain America Civil War big game spot. Oh! Is that the skin?
You chose the wrong side.
Oh, really? Oh, Widow's on Tony's side. Dang. Wow. All right. Yeah. That was very short. But we did actually learn something new, which is that Tony Stark is now going to have the skin Iron Man suit. So, if you're not familiar with this, at some point in the comics, Tony actually creates an Iron Man suit that is very, very thin, and it's almost like flush with his skin, basically. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. But besides that, not much we already didn't know. A little disappointed, but only because the trailer was so short. I love Cap, and I would have wanted to see a little bit more. But then again, it's okay because we don't want to see too much, and then they end up, telling us everything that's in the movie. Terminator. So, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We did, yeah. So now we know who's on which side exactly, pretty much. A little bit. The only thing that I'm very surprised about with this is, or I'm really wondering about, is why is Black Panther going to be in this? I mean, if you're familiar with the comics, Black Panther is the king of Wakanda, which is a fictional country in Africa, and it is also the richest country. By the way, it has been proven that Black Panther is the richest character in all of comic book. The richest, absolutely richest. The only person who would probably come close is Richie Rich. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm still wondering because Black Panther is more or less localized to his country. He's a king. He's the king, like I said, he's the king of Wakanda. So he generally stays home. He does come to the States every so often, but it would probably be for political reasons that he would be in the States. but he doesn't. From what I remember, he doesn't really come to the States very often. So I am kind of curious why they would bring in Black Panther for a personal battle, because in the comics, if you know the comics, Civil War was about the Superhero Registration Act, which basically required anyone who wore a mask to be public and register with the government. And so Captain America was against it because he said it was like spying on people. And Tony Stark, who is like in the movies, he's a contractor. He's a government contractor, so he stood on their side. Plus his identity is known, but it doesn't matter because Captain America's identity is also known, Steve Rogers. And it was a very, very big divisive line in the comics, which was why why Spider-Man was such a big deal in the comics in terms of this, because Spider-Man was very known to be very, very private with his identity. And then, in support of the Superhero Registration Act, he publicly unmasked and announced that he was on Tony's side, and Tony offered to protect him and his family, and then people went after Spider-Man, which was the whole reason why he didn't, or they went after his family, which was the whole reason he didn't want to unmask in the first place, which was, yeah. And then Brand New Day completely undid all that. If you guys ever saw all the Spider-Man, if you saw the Spider-Man movies and stuff and the animation and all that stuff, you remember before a certain time, Spider-Man, they were always talking about Mary Jane. Spider-Man animated series, all the Spider-Man animated series, in fact. Was it Spider-Man animated series? Spectacular Spider-Man, whatever that MTV Spider-Man was that came out after the Sam Raimi movies. The Sam Raimi movies. And yeah, so right after Civil War in the comics was Brand New Day. And then in Brand New Day, Aunt May died, and Peter Parker was like, "No, I don't want my aunt to die." And so he made a deal with Mephisto, who is basically the devil, the Marvel Universe devil. He made a deal with Mephisto to undo that, and so in doing that, he never got with Mary Jane Watson, which is why in the Amazing Spider-Man movies he was with Gwen, right? In Amazing Spider-Man he was with Gwen, and that's because that was all after Brand New Day when he was no longer with Mary Jane Watson. So if anyone was ever wondering why there was no Mary Jane Watson in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, that's why, because Brand New Day completely erased that. Let's see. Yeah, and I got back to being on a tangent again. So yeah, because the whole thing was about the Superhero Registration Act. I have no idea how Spider-Man is going to be applied to this, but everybody loves Spider-Man, so Spider-Man. So you've been seeing memes all over the internet about where's Spider-Man. I'm just wondering how they're going to do that, because if it's about Bucky, it doesn't really make any sense for anybody who wasn't in any of the Avenger movies to be involved. But we'll have to see how they do it, because they've been pretty good at handling the Marvel stories so far. And the Captain America movies have generally been on top of all of that. Like, they've been the top of the top for pretty much all of those. So, I think I've rambled on enough. So if you have any questions about anything, or want to have any responses, disagreements, theories, please, just theories, no facts, because I am waiting for the movie. I don't want to know about, I don't want to know about I read on, I know a guy who works for Marvel, who's working on the movie, who told me this and this and this and that. It's like, no, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. Theories are fine. So, yeah. All right. Whoa. Once again, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe. Wow, I forget things so easily. So, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, comment, recommend, etc., etc., etc. All right. And I will see you guys around later.